run out of action. So I know Kibler has moved away from this particular build into something more mid-rangey, cutting out a lot of the early action. But Zacarias sits here at 8-1, playing something very similar to the old build.
See both players taking a look at opening hand, so we're going to be underway here as Milton is going to play a forest and pass the turn back. Pardee just plays an island, so no Cloudfin Raptor or Judge's Familiar for him as he passes the turn back. And now here is a Lotleth Troll.
Yes, this is one of the main drivers behind playing this deck. Lotleth Troll is very powerful.
Pardee just passes in the second turn here. A card like Timebiter Mage would have been quite good this turn, but he does not have one of those, as you do see Lotleth Troll here. The 2-1 Trampler, which feels like Trample's kind of tacked on, but that certainly does play an important role with this card.
Until you read the second line of text where it can discard cards to get bigger, which is a combo with Trample.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's a sweet design.
I actually like this card a lot. I'm actually kind of disappointed that it hasn't been better over its lifespan, as Thassa is going to come into play. Boonsader is going to come play at the end of the turn, so the pressure is on here from Milton, as he's got 6 points of power, potentially more if he does want to do some discarding here against just a Thassa. So getting in the red zone is what he's going to do.
Yeah, Sam kept a pretty slow hand here, and looked like it would be okay with Zacarias passing the third turn, but there was simply a Boonsader waiting for Sam.
There is a Pelugranos now, too, which is actually a huge play because if Pardee's plan was to stabilize via Master Wave, so that just got blown up.
Yeah. There's, again, aggressive disruption. The threats that Zacarias is playing here have some utility to them, are difficult to kill, provide some value on the board. It's all, a very typical Kibler mixture of good power to mana cost while also having some disruptive elements. So.
Yeah, aggressive disruption is a really good way to put it, which is what Kibler is really known for. And as you can see, all these threats, they play a lot of different roles. They aren't just, vanilla creatures like the one you'll see in a White Wayne or Boros type deck. These guys all do something. They're all good, too.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
So what can Pardee to get himself out of this situation? He's got a Thassa, he got the Scry, but he is super far behind on the board. Here's a Nightveil Spectre, which could try to trade with a Boonsader, I suppose, but that's not the best thing to do this turn. And if Milton has any sort of removal spell, it'd probably be lights out.
Yeah, Sam really needed to have rapid hybridization at some point along the curve here to slow down what's happening, but just trying to go pound for pound with the threats in the Golgari deck is really tough to do.
And that's not how things work for Mono Blue Devotion. So take a look, and Milton's going to slide through his hand here, figure out the best course of action moving forward. 4 mana, he's got a Reaper of the Wilds. And playing that pre-combat in case something does die so he gets the free Scry. So I actually think that's fairly good sequencing there if you don't have a removal spell. So Boonsader's going to get in front of, Nightveil Spectre's going to get in front of Boonsader. So 7 damage is going to come across, and we might see 2 Scry triggers take place here.
Zacarias appears to be fairly young, but his technical play thus far has been pretty sharp.
I agree. So Scry, the first one, going to put that to the bottom. How's the second one look? I'm going to put that to the bottom as well. He's going to pass the turn back. So Pardee is going to do a little Scry action here. But again, he's probably worse off than he was in the previous turn.
Yes, somehow things have gotten worse.
Yeah, even though there was a trade that took place.
And Sam may just not have enough mana and time to deploy everything he needs to do here.
Keeps the card. I think it was a Cloudfin Raptor. Yep. This turn is just Cloudfin Raptor go, not the scariest of turns.
Well, he's got a lot of mana up now, so you had to be playing around something like Cyclonic Rift and Rapid Hybridization.
Yep. 3 mana here. We could see just a Monstrosity activation. So he's going to Cyclonic Rift this in response. So Monstrosity activation will not resolve. But the one thing this will do for Milton is it'll give him another creature in his hand to discard to Lotleth Troll. And into the red zone we go. And block there. Scry.
Sam falls to 3.
He's trying to hang on.
I mean, he needs to get Master of Waves with some sort of board here to slow things down.
But there's a Golgari Guildgate and just passing the turn back. Pardee going to Scry here. He has Domestication in his hand, but that's not even at its best right now either.
Yeah. If Zacarias has 2 creatures in his hand, then the Domestication can't even get the Lotleth.
Yeah, that's true. So now there's a Master of Waves. Okay, there's going to be 2 guys. Milton very quickly pulls a card forward to his hand. I feel like he has an answer for Master of Waves. Maybe I'm wrong. No? Just has to get in the red zone. Don't forget, Loud Throw does have trample, so Sam might have to get a little tricky with his block. Excuse me. All right, so double block here, single block there. Maybe just to regenerate.
Regenerate and recast Plurkinos is pretty tempting here.
Oh, this is a Boon Satyr. That lets him trample over for the win. So +4 makes it a 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. So that is more than enough damage to get the job done. So Zacarias Milton does win game number 1 with his green-black aggro deck over Grand Prix Portland champion and Grand Prix Albuquerque runner-up Sam Pardee.
Yeah, I don't believe Zacarias cast a spell that game. I believe it was just creature, 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 creature,
Dead.
You're dead.
That's Kibler magic right there.
Yeah, as the good Lord intended.
We take a look at the sideboard here for Pardee since he'll be on the play. He's got a Biden of Thassa. He's got 2 Jace Memory Adept, a Jace Architect of Thought, a Dissolve, and a Gate, 1 Curse of the Swine, 2 Cyclonic Rift, a Domestication, a additional Rapid Hybridization, and then 4 copies of Gainsay, which of course aren't going to come in for this matchup. That's kind of actually what we saw. Kind of going to employ the same game plan that we saw earlier when he played against a junk deck. He is going to want cards like Cyclonic Rift, Rapid Hybridization, unsure about Domestication. He did board in Curse of the Swine against the junk deck that he did play earlier when we watched him on camera, so I expect him to bring that in again. But a card like Jace Memory Adept, the +1's not going to be great in this particular matchup. Biden's a little bit slow, but better when you're on the play as opposed to on the draw. The Architect of Thought, he just wanted, though, and then he has 2 Jace Memory Adepts, so don't really like the 5 mana one, and then the counter spells are giant meh.
Yeah, well, a big difference here between, the 3-color junk style deck that we had on camera earlier and the green-black aggro deck is the junk deck is looking to get out of the early turns just by using removal spell. The games are a lot more attrition-oriented, which means things like Biden and Jace are quite potent. Yeah. The green-black deck actually can apply quite a bit of pressure. Like we said, Zacarias didn't cast a spell that game. He simply beat Sam to death with creatures. So I don't think Sam can go as far down that road as he was able to against the 3-color deck, because it's possible he'll just get killed by threats. On the other side of the table, Zacarias has access to more removal spells, all of which are very valuable against Sam's deck, in my opinion. 2 copies of Ultimate Price, 2 Doom Blades, and a Putrefy, and 3 copies of Mistcutter Hydra. So he's able to get a lot leaner and more efficient in the post-board games. Mistcutter being especially good.
Yeah. And it looked like, the things that he did in game 1 were already impressive enough, and he's already going to get a better creature as well, so that's a pretty nice thing to be able to do.
I think because of the Cyclonic Rift, Rapid Hybridization action going on in Sam's deck, I would want to de-emphasize the Varol's Dreg Mangler Boon Satyr aspect of the deck. The assemble your own monster thing is susceptible to Sam's tempo plays. I would lean much more on just removal spells and individually powerful cards, most notably Mistcutter Hydra.
How do you feel about Golgari Charm here?
I think it is a little narrow. It's not like the Golgari deck is short on ways to answer Master of Waves.
Okay.
And outside of that, the card's not that efficient, so I would probably leave that one on the bench.
All right. Well, we'll see how it does go and how the sideboarding will take place here. Again, Zacarias Milton up a game against a very well-established player in Samuel Pardee. He's a youngster, as you mentioned, probably a little bit nervous, even though he's not showing it right now.
His play seemed very sound in the first game from what I saw. Yeah. Timing and the way mana got tapped, the whole 9, so he's not 8-1 for no reason.
That is definitely true.
Perhaps a young Brian Kibler fan.
Oh, definitely.
As we all were once upon a time.
Who has better hair, Brian or Zacarias?
I don't know. Kibler's Silver Streak is just so good. The Silver Fox is just...
But the fluff.
Yeah, no, I know.
I appreciate the fluff here. It reminds me of a young Seth Rogen.
Sure.
That's how it feels.
There's a certain dignified air that Kibler is developing into his 30s that is just really charming.
Yeah.
So they're both, let's just say they're both awesome in different ways.
Okay.
You see Zacarias here taking a mulligan.
A fast mulligan, too.
Yep.
Did not like his opening hand.
And this is, I brought this up multiple times in the broadcast. This Golgari deck, even if no other cards get added to it, gets much better in a couple months once it has a green-black Scry land.
Yeah.
It's currently playing 4 Golgari Guildgates. Its mana's a little bit strained. It has both Elvish Mystic and Hero's Downfall. Not the easiest thing to cobble together.
Yep.
And the Guildgates would be such a huge addition to this deck.
I just love not knowing what's coming. Like, other than the Scryland, I just love not knowing what's actually going to come from the next set here. This is going to be a mulligan down to 5 at a poor time here for Milton. Just the fact that, yes, I know the Guildgates are coming, but what is going to get added to the Nykthos shells? Because, I mean, that card's already great.
Yep.
And I'm
There
sure
will likely
something's going to come.
There will likely be more permanents in the next set.
Yeah, it's a pretty high chance of that. And yeah, heaven forbid, some of them cost 2 of the same color.
Yeah.
I think that may happen as well. So I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen for Born of the Gods, really.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Zacarias has remained also basically dour and expressionless the whole time, which I also really like.
Yeah, I mean, these are like, not only are these like quick mulligans, but they're just like quick mulligans. He looks at his hand, he's like, no, this hand sucks, send it back. Like, not any, huffing and puffing or, bad size. And he just says, all right, I'll keep, let's do this.
No Hollywooding here.
No. Forest and passing. And if we remember anything, then the match that we watched Pardee in Game 3, his opponent mulliganed 5 and put up one heck of a fight.
Yeah.
So Frostburn weird here for Sam. We'll see if Milton has a turn 2 plane. He does not.
So the first, we've checked off kind of the first checkbox for the green-black deck is having both colors of mana.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an abrupt decay. Take care of the Frostburn weird. See if the follow-up is a Thassa or not, and it is. So the God of the Sea has shown up here yet again. Mistcutter Hydra, the draw here from Milton. I wonder if he's going to deploy that or if he has something better to do.
I think he needs to. He has a Putrefy, so he has a removal spell for the next play that Sam has, and he really needs to make that Mistcutter Hydra matter after his mulligan to 5. He can't just.
I think that's one that's worth putrefying. He's going to do that immediately. Oh, he's going to Boon Satyr. Okay.
Oh.
He can Boon Satyr and then putrefy in his turn. It's perfectly fine, I think.
Yep.
He's willing to trade. Wow. Okay.
He has another Boon Satyr, so I can understand being willing to trade there. Keep your Putrefy because he's pretty exposed to Master Waves right now. He doesn't have a removal spell beyond that Putrefy. So.
That's true. Here comes a 1-drop to turn on Thassa. It's a Cloudfin Raptor. There's a Nykthos. We get an activation here for 3, 4, 5 mana. 2. So he's got 3 floating. Tidebinder Mage is going to shut that down. Cloudfin Raptor is going to evolve. See if we get anything else that happens this turn.
And this is the mono blue deck at its most efficient. Sometimes that one Nykthos enables a lot of power.
That's a big turn here from Sam. It might not seem like a big turn, but it's a pretty big turn.
It seems like a pretty big turn from where I'm sitting.
So now Thassa's going to come across. Here's a Putrefy. It's going to take down something. Take down his Nightveil Spectre, which means, most importantly, Thassa's not going to deal any points of damage, but the Mutavault will get him for 2. Of course, Boon Satyr not going to untap now because of the Tidebinder Mage. And Pelucranos off the top, but not the necessary mana to cast it. Milton just has to pass the turn back. Thassa is going to scry the top card to the bottom. Pardee going to turn back on the God of the Sea here with Tidebinder Mage. Evolution complete on the Raptor. Activate the Mutavault, and we'll see what we basically saw last turn, which is Red Zone. So it looks like an attack here for 2. 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 5 is 11. See if Milton has anything to do with his mana this turn.
He does have a Boon Satyr.
Yeah.
Go get his block on.
I'm going to try to trade with something. Probably have to trade with Tidebinder Mage, I would think, to
Yeah.
turn off Devotion again.
And free up his Boon Satyr as well. Some pretty big incentives here. Oh, is he just taking the whole hit?
Yeah, that one's not going to untap, which is important. Yeah, he does just take the whole hit. Not a land for Pelucranos yet again. A Mistcutter Hydra is going to show up here. Problem now, of course, as Hydra does come into play, is that Thassa has a little bit more game text on it.
Yeah.
And that makes winning a whole lot more difficult.
Zacarias is now dead on board, basically. Yeah. Thassa can make itself unblockable. That plus the Cloudfin Raptor is enough to seal the deal.
I think he will come to that conclusion just like we do, or Sam will make it readily apparent after finishing his scry here. Take a draw step. Play an island. He can make the whole squad unblockable if he wants to, so this. Sideways we go. And Milton will pick up his card. So we're going to go to a third and final one here between Pardee and Milton. Mono Blue Devotion and Green Black Aggro. Going to be interested to watch these two players really quickly in the bottom part of our screen, see if they do go back to the sideboard at all.
Yeah, it felt, it's easy to say this when he, mulliganed and installed on lands, but it did feel like Zacarias had a lot of 4-mana creatures left in his deck. It's hard for him to cut all of it, especially he's bringing in Mistcutter Hydra, which is another, expensive creature.
Yeah.
But his deck didn't seem particularly efficient in that game.
Agreed.
He wasn't very fast to the board. I can understand, you want to just leave in as much power in your deck as possible once you're bringing in all this removal, but Zacarias still has to be conscious of his curve. I still think he wants some amount of lotless troll action, that kind of stuff going on.
Milton went back to his board, took a look, put it back, gonna go back to shuffling. Pardee went to it as well. Not sure if he moved anything in or out there, but both players are look to be happy with their configurations moving forward. So we'll see what does happen in this third and final one.
In the upper left-hand corner of Zacarias' screen, you can see James Gates presumably birding, beloved friend Grey Catch.
Indeed.
Is also playing for a spot in the elimination rounds.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Greg is one of the players with 2 losses who could actually get a little lucky and make it in here.
Yes.
If things do break his way. We saw him a little bit earlier playing Mono Blue Devotion against Vidianto Wijaya and taking him down in 2, I don't think lopsided's the word, but they were definitely in Greg's way both times. So who's it going to be? The well-established pro and Sam Pardee. He's wearing his Magic Online hoodie, of course.
Yep.
2012 or 2013. Definitely 2012. Can't be 2013 championship. And then Milton. I guess it could be 2013. I take that back.
I think I saw
Move that drawstring. Get out of the way. It's covering up one number. That's horrible.
I feel like he got it at Gen Con I think 2 years ago.
It's a nice hoodie.
I remember seeing it, I think.
I like it. All right, it's a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
2012. I was pretty sure it was 2012.
So Zacarias is going to be on the play here for this third game.
Zacarias wants one of those hoodies.
Yeah.
I would too. Except for I wouldn't want the Zorius would have to go.
Right. Have to get a Boros hoodie.
Yeah, for sure. It's about being fashionable. All right, Pardee looks at his 7. Milton looks at his. Doesn't look thrilled, but he says he's going to keep. All right, we're underway. Golgari Guildgate. Boy, if that were a scry land.
Yeah, we could have scried already.
Yeah. Cloudfin Raptor to start the show here. Second land, another Guildgate. Oh, boy.
It's good to have his colors. He needs to make land drops. He has so much expensive action in his deck.
Another Raptor here from Pardee and just passing the turn back. Mutavault 2, which means there will not be an Eiffel Spectre on 3. Certainly can be a Thassa. And pass the turn back here. So it looks like is Milton representing a Boon Satyr.
And no third land for Sam.
That's a big deal. Overgrown Tomb, a 4th land here from Milton. That's going to come into play tapped. 3 mana. Here's a Dreg Mangler. So we're getting rowdy now. Rapid Hybrid, my own guy. Rapid Hybrid, your guy.
I mean, the rapid hybridization on his own guy is not great here because it only allows for 1 trade.
Yeah.
It does set up a Raptor to become potentially a 2/3, which, gives some utility if he can make another play next turn, but...
He's going to kill his own. He's going to kill his Mutavault. All right. So now trigger. Yikes. He had no land, and now he has less land.
Yeah.
It's a bold strategy.
Ooh, I mean, it's hard for him to progress anyway. He basically has to draw an island out of a functional hand regardless, so...
Yeah.
And if he can play a Frostborn Weird here, he is in another Mutavault.
I think he just peeled off a Mutavault. Okay. I mean, that's not terrible because it's a land. And certainly drawing an additional Mutavault for your land wouldn't have helped anyway. Yeah. Like if he still had 2 lands and draws Mutavault, it would have been... Probably wouldn't have been much help. I mean, if he does have a Thassa, it's actually pretty good. But... Drake Maker going to come across here, put Pardee down to 14. See 14-18 the game score and passing the turn back, which is representing another Boonsater here. There is a Judge's Familiar, which will not evolve things. Passing the turn back, so now here's Boonsater. You see a Hero's Downfall in Milton's hand as well. Take a draw step.
And Thoughtseize the draw.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in Zacarias' seat, I just want to keep attacking.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
Add as much to the board as possible. Sam's got so many cards in his hand that it's unlikely that a Thoughtseize is going to make his hand non-functional.
Yeah.
So just stay on top of them.
If you're Sam, I don't think you can reasonably try double block or something here. I think there's just too likely that it goes bad. I guess desperate time, desperate measures, but ultimate price is going to take care of this. Yep, so now both guys are going to die. He's just pay one more. He does. He's going to take 3. Now Thoughtseize. So this is going to make things even worse now. There's a Tidebinder Mage. I bet he's got a couple in his hand. No, just one.
He's got 2 Thasses, a Weird, a Master, and the Tidebinder Mage.
So Tidebinder's going to go. It's a really good time to draw an island if you're Sam Pardee.
Yes. Although Zacarias' hand loaded removal.
Cloudfin Raptor. Pass. That's not an island. Pardee, you can tell he knows he's in trouble now.
Yep.
So they're Guildgate off the top here. And again, just into the red zone, no blocks. Can't afford to.
Yeah. There's nothing profitable to be doing.
Just to go getting past the turn back. And that is a land, is a Tidebinder Mage. It is not a land. Here's a Putrefy to take down this Raptor. That's going to resolve. An untap and a draw. There's an Abrupt Decay.
On
and
the
I think
Raptor.
this young kid is going to make top 8, Patrick. He's getting in with both. Activate this, Putrefy, or Hero's Downfall, that, and that is it. Zacarias Milton defeats Sam Pardee.
Wow.
2 games to 1, and you can smile.
Yeah, it's okay. You can exhale.
You can smile,
you can
buddy.
exhale, dude. Listen, your body language at the table was great.
Yes,
Very
it was.
nicely done. Not too big for the moment, that's for sure. But right now, you're allowed to smile, dude. You earned it. Congratulations.
Zacarias Milton defeats Sam Pardee. Green-black aggro. Kibler, I know he was watching earlier, might be watching now. Your deck is made top 8, my friend.
Yeah, and Sam's hand, I think, there is like a totally reasonable keep. There's 20 islands in the deck.
Yeah.
And his hand's so powerful if he draws a second blue mana in a reasonable time frame. But he did not, and Zacarias had enough pressure here as he celebrates with some friends.
Some high fives, some fist bumps.
Good mix of pressure and removal spells. The classic Kibler high power to mana ratio backed up by 2 and 3 mana removal spells of various quality and utility. And
a nice smattering of each.
Yeah, a little
throughout
smattering.
the deck.